It is your host with the most, Shadow Loke. Welcome to my channel. Go ahead and tap on the subscribe, the like. It's free. It don't cost anything. You'll be helping my channel get into the algorithm. I would highly appreciate it. If you go ahead and do that, if you share, I would highly appreciate it. Now on my channel, right here, we talk about everything else that people are scared to talk about. Sensitive subjects, anything from anything and everything. Right here, we don't care about losing subscribers or YouTube coming with all that drama. Woo. Right here, we'll speak on what we want to speak about. Regardless if people get upset or not, we give our opinions, right? We're not scared to touch on these subjects. Because I know other people, since they don't want to lose subscribers, that's the mission is to gain subscribers. They like to play both sides because they don't want to offend nobody and stuff like that. But right here, we come and give our opinions. Remember, you can't be mad. These are just my opinions. At the end of the day, you could have yours, I could have mine. So we could disagree, we could agree to disagree. Nothing wrong with that. But what I wanted to talk about was sex offenders, right? The sick, the wicked, people that molest children. It's no secret that our law system is broken, especially when it comes to sex offenders, child molesters, predators. Um, you know, for their horrific crimes, they get the most lenient sentence, while other people, like let's say a gang member caught with some, like a 20 of meth, will get 15 years. But this guy who molested these kids, 9-year-olds, 8-year-olds, and tortured them and did all kinds of sick things to them, only gets about 3 years in probation. Is absurd, you know. But hey, welcome to America, right? Welcome to society, actually. Now, why do I believe that this is right? Well, my opinion is the reason why our system is broken the way it's broken, and why these people get so, they get lenient charges to them, is people have a different idea of how they see a sex offender, right? There's different levels to what people considered it being a sex offender, when in all fact, it's ridiculous. There is no levels to it, because there's people that will say, well, she was 16 or 17, well, they're already, almost of age, so it's not that bad. Like, let's say it was a baby or a 5-year-old. No, that's still a child, regardless if she's 16, 17, or he, is still a child, bro. So there is no categories to this, you know what I mean? For you to separate them. Now I'm going to tell you why it's wrong for somebody, who's already an adult to be messing with someone who's considered a child, youth, teen, whatever. Because at the end of the day, they're still child. See, a person's brain develops differently, right? As time goes, at certain ages, our brain develops certain things. We're able to understand things. We're able to comprehend, right? That's why the drinking age is 21, and you're considered an adult. At this age and this age, they don't just guess these numbers or pull them out of a hat. It's done by research that they're able to see that now people could comprehend, what they do. That's why people get trialed as juvenile or as an adult. Why the laws have even changed on that. You know what I mean? Because you can't compare the mind of a child to the mind of an adult, someone who already knows what he's doing, compared to someone who doesn't know what he's doing because he's reacting on pure emotions. Regardless if he was a teen already, he's still a child, though. You know what I mean? Who can't control his emotions. You know what I mean? His hormones, especially all these new hormones that that you get when you go through puberty, right? So a kid is easily manipulated. Right? A kid could easily be persuaded, manipulated, and taken advantage of. While when we reach that age where we're able to understand and comprehend, situations, we are aware and understand our actions, right? And that's why it's not okay for an adult to date a child, because that adult knows what he's doing while the child doesn't know. So it's easy for the adult to manipulate the child. Right? And that is our understanding of why it's not okay, because they could be taken advantage for that reason. That's why it's not okay for, a person like this, the fact of it that it's strange as it is, because the big gap in age difference, like why can't you find someone roughly around your age? Why do you need someone younger, unless you want to dominate, you want to assert yourself, you want to be in control, and people like that are not the best of individuals. You know what I mean? um, because they always have some wicked intentions. But why do I believe that the law system is so lenient to them? It's because, remember, a while back ago, back in the days, and not just in America but in other countries as well, it was okay for older men to be marrying 14, 16-year-olds, right? Because they didn't have the research and the knowledge that we do now that is not okay, right? But back then, it was common. It was common for that to occur. It happened all the time. It was normal, and all over the world, right? Now, our understanding of it, we understand that it's not okay, but back then it was common, right? In some parts of the world, it's still common, as crazy as that is, because they don't believe the science, right? Because whether their religion or whatever, there's different reasons for them not believing the science or not wanting to look at the data, you know. Denial. Okay, cool. Sorry, it's when it comes to this subject, it's kind of hard for me, to keep my core and not be biased, because it's outrageous. Anywho, so back then it was common, right? So a lot of people's parents, especially in our law system that we have, a lot of those people's parents or their grandparents were maybe some of these people who, there was a big gap between, the mom and the dad, or the grandpa and the grandma. You know what I mean? And the fact that they know this and they have this information, the reason why they don't come, with stricter laws, or come at this more harder than what it is, because of the fact that they would have to look at their parents a certain way, or grandparents, like, damn, you get what I'm saying? And I think they don't want to own up to that, or they don't want to come to the realization that maybe it wasn't okay when my pops did, or when my grandpa or grandma or whatever did. Because remember, it works both ways. It's not always the male who takes advantage of a young female, but also an older woman who takes advantage of a younger boy. And molestation works in both ways, right? You could have the mom molesting the sons or the daughters, and vice versa. So it's not always just the males. It happens with females too. Not as often, but it still happens. It still occurs, and an alarming rate too as well. Let's not forget that. So when it comes to sexual abuse, it's not always males. It's females do it as well. You know what I mean? The reason why for the picture, you see the female and everything like that, because they also molest, not just boys, but young girls as well. There's twisted individuals in this world. But people always have, one perspective of it. But see, molestation, predators, no one's immune to it, meaning it doesn't matter if the person's a doctor, a police officer, a lawyer, a judge, a gang member, a chef. Predators have existed in all aspects, all walks of life, in every career. You have had predators that were, athletes, celebrities, from everything, all around the world, right? So no one's immune to this. So I think, I find it really, mind baffling how there's some individuals who think just because somebody's a celebrity or a rapper or an actor or a lawyer or a judge or someone that's rich would be incapable of doing some heinous acts like this, when it's like, no, it doesn't matter what they are, what background they come from. Just because that's their career, they have money, doesn't mean that they wouldn't do some shit like this. You know what I mean? Don't be fooled by everything else. I get it. You looking at it from like, man, all that money, why would they throw it away? Well, because to you, all that matters to you is money and coming out of the slums, and you think that the money's the salvation and the answer for everything. And if you had money, like, you would never throw it away. That's not how it works, bro. You know what I mean? Money, if anything, having more money, it fuels these people's habit more. You know what I mean? Because less people will believe it, and they have more funds to reach have resources to get away with their sick crimes. You know what I mean? So don't think just because someone has money that they're immune to this. No, that's not how it works. It doesn't matter what they are, because they have had sex offenders have existed from every career. It doesn't matter if he was a teacher, a police officer, a gang member. You know what I mean? When people think of molesters, they always think of these, bums in the streets or hanging around in some alleys. No, there's something. It could be your neighbor. It could be your priest. It could be anybody, bro. Your sibling. Don't ever get it twisted. Um, you can't argue with the facts. Um, but for that reason, I think it is that um, you know most people are lenient when it comes to coming at predators, because of the fact that it was common back then. You know what I mean? And the fact that they don't want to look in the mirror, or them trying to categorize it like, oh well, nah, well they weren't that young and stuff like that. It's ridiculous. The mind of a child doesn't develop into, you don't develop your brain, fully to adult until you're roughly from 21 to 25, 20, 21, 24, like roughly around that, that time frame, where you're able to comprehend now as an adult. So what makes you an adult? Why they even allow you to buy alcohol and stuff like that, because they know even if you get impaired, you're aware of what you're doing, compared to a child who doesn't know. That's why kids are over dramatic. If they don't get their game, or maybe a shoe that they want, the world's coming to an end. Why 1 minute they want to marry their girlfriend, the next minute they don't know if they want to be with them. The kid, is everywhere. They don't know if they want to skate, or they don't know if they want to surf, or that's what a kid is. They don't know what they want, right? And then they're from mad to happy to sad. You know what I'm saying? It's because of all the emotions, the new hormones. It's a pretty chaotic, stage in their life when they're going through all of that, right? It's a roller coaster of emotions that they're not used to. That's why it's not okay for an adult to date a child, because they could easily manipulate them. You know what I mean? And take advantage. But overall, that is my opinion on the matters, on why I think it's like that. And my opinion overall on the subject, I think it's sick. I think they need to be throw away the key on them. There's some people that you just truly can't help in this world, for whatever reasons that we're still not able to understand fully yet. You know what I mean? But we have a better understanding of it now than we did before. But I'm just saying, this is my opinions. What do you guys think? Leave it in the comments, and Shadowy out.